But
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, oh my goodness, welcome on a Wednesday. We are having so much fun. Well, not yet, but we certainly appreciate you guys being a part of this. We have a lot to get to in a short period of time, so I hope you enjoy it because I know we will. At Philadelphia 19, Chuck, my brother, what's the good word, man?
what's up, man? You tell me you tell me the good word, man. Listen, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there. Very interesting week that we just had, right? Very interesting damn week we just had.
Yeah, speaking of weeks, it normally in first world countries doesn't take over a week to finish counting votes. That's one of the things we're going to dive into. But first, we need to talk about something that's super extra special. So take a look at this. This is how we're going to lead off.
This time, it involves our intelligence community. Ken, what have you learned, sir? Oh, shit. Fuck. Okay.
Had you seen that?
I did not. I don't know how I missed that one. That's a hot mic right there, baby.
So Dinesh D'Souza, who's big time thought leader, conservative activist, author, filmmaker, he put that up and he's like, what the hell's going on at MSNBC? And had it not like glitched or buffered there, that was pretty annoying. We're probably gonna have to go back to it, but shit, the fuck, You can't go wrong with that on
No.
live television when there's a bunch of sponsors being aware of going on. So, Chuck, you were laughing. What are your thoughts on that guy jacking everything up?
Hey man, always what they tell you back in school when you're broadcasting, always when you're in front of the mic, this thing is always hot, baby.
So when I started doing live TV, live sports, we had a couple of super professionals that had been in the news business for a long
Sure.
time. They're just like,
Sure.
make sure, because we all do it, right?
Yep.
Make sure that when we're at the commercial break, you don't say shit, any of the other words. You know what I mean? They said not to do it because you're going to get caught sooner or later. You're going to be screwed, and that's kind of going to be on you. But the cool thing about the streaming is that we don't have to worry about that crap. Right? Am I right or wrong?
Right. Yeah, maybe we say whatever the hell we want to, man. Shit, fuck, damn. I don't, say whatever we want, man.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to lay this out for you real quick. What we're going to do. So we saw the shit, fuck, that whole thing is pretty ridiculous. We're probably going to play it again just because it's, I don't know, it's a lot of fun.
Because we
still have, Chuck, we still have Jerry Nadler loaded.
My guy.
Anytime we can see a representative, congressperson,
my dog,
congressman of the United States, it's up on a podium giving a speech, and then looks like he's shitting his pants, and that's a good thing too. That's ready to go. Okay, so we got that. We got a special video that we're going to pull up here in just a few moments of Van Jones crying, kind of the hypocrisy of the whole left-wing media and just leftists in general. There's some people still left in the middle, but right now, and Chuck, I'm going to get your take on this real quickly. How many people, there's 325 million people here in the U.S., right? How many of those do you think are still left in the middle? What are your thoughts?
Wow, that's a good question. How many is left in the middle?
In the middle.
In the middle, huh? Let me see. So you said 375 to carry the 2. I had 1. Shit, I don't know. 100 million. I don't know.
You think there's 100 million
50 million, 30 million people? I'm going down. Down now that I think about it. Not too many people in the middle. So
I'm going to give you my take after I run this down. Remind me of this because I'm probably going to forget. 100 million. You say in the middle. All right.
Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there. Why not?
I got that. No, I think that's probably pretty reasonable. Okay, so we got Van Jones crying, all that crap, little Biden stuff, the president-elect. And by the way, just so all of you know, he's not president-elect yet. No state has certified any vote. It hasn't gone to the electors, so he's just like playing. He's like playing house. With a bunch of jackasses, and he put up a sign that says "Office of Presidents Elect" in the house, where he's been in the basement for the last 6 months. Now they roll the guy out, Weekend at Bernie's, and he's out in front of everyone. So we got a little video on that, the hypocrisy there, the fraud, potential fraud, alleged fraud.
Alleged.
There are 234 affidavits, and what that means is that you got to sign some legal documents and penalty of perjury, right? That's what that deal is, penalty of perjury. So there's 234 of those in multiple states. We're going to go over that a little bit, but more into how we all kind of got here. Wisconsin, we're going to dive into for a minute. The third world. How do you know that an election is full of fraud and it's not legit? Well, BBC explained this about an African nation in 2016. Charlie Kirk Show, thank you very much for putting that out there for the rest of us to review. But I think I think some of us haven't seen it, and it's worth looking at because there's 6 things that you need to see. We're going to go over that, okay? Then we got the whistleblower, not Lieutenant Colonel Vindman or some other jackass that was some holdover from the Obama administration and the Trump. And I heard a phone call, blah, blah, blah. And then Biden, whatever.
Biden. Wow.
And then Biden was the one who actually did the quid pro quo. What he did that too, right? He's been in a basement so long, who knows what the hell he's doing. So Biden's the one who said, "Yeah, I got the $1 billion. Either you fire the prosecutor who's investigating his son's company, his son Hunter, sat on the board of Burisma in Ukraine. Either you fire him and you got 6 hours. So you got 6 hours to fire him. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. And he bragged about that, quid pro and the quo. That's with the Ukraine. The president was impeached on what? Quid pro quo with the Ukraine. Anyway, the hypocrisy runs so deep, and all you libtards out there are like, you're not right. You're making stuff up. And I'm like, I'm not. And I'm going to prove some shit to you. So stay tuned and listen for that crap, because you don't want to go anywhere. Because all the libs out there, we're going to have some fun. And by the way, I love all you people. I think your ideas are shit, but it doesn't mean that I don't like you as a person, as a human being. Well, I may not like you as a person,
What
but as
you
a
mean,
human
you
being, I
people,
respect
Matt?
the fact that you're alive. Chuck, what do you think about that?
What the fuck you mean, you people?
I'm only talking about you again, Chuck. You people. So we have all that fun with the whistleblower, Nancy Pelosi. Again, hypocrisy about protecting a whistleblower. We got video on that. Project Veritas, the actual whistleblower, the Pennsylvania postal worker, Richard Hopkins. We have that video from Project Veritas. If you haven't seen it, you need to look at it because it's extremely important. Thank you. We got to get back to Yuri. There's a small clip from Yuri Brezmenov, KGB officer, that just lays it out so perfectly. Alinsky, the 8 levels of control. And we talked about this a little bit in a preview. What we do here, we want to talk more about the ideology of things. We let other people really get into the specifics of, the fraud this, fraud that. Our whole thing is, what the hell are you thinking? Why are you thinking that way? And here's what we believe. Does it necessarily make it true? Maybe not, but it sure fucking makes a hell of a lot of sense. Chuck, what do you think?
It's fishy, huh? It's a little fishy.
It's beyond fishy.
Yeah, it's a little fishy.
So the Alinsky 8 levels of control leads right into Hugo Chavez. And people are like, well, who the hell is Hugo Chavez? Well, he's a jackass socialist communist who got elected, by the way, was elected in Venezuela, very prosperous country before he got elected. And what happened in Venezuela? Well, now they don't even have enough toilet paper for people to wipe their asses. Socialism.
Country.
Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden, he got pulled into it, but he's a globalist and there's that whole deal. So he's one of the guys. That's why they had to get Trump out. We're going to talk more about that. And yeah, the COVID bullshit. Oh yeah, Hugo Chavez wanted to pack the courts, and he did. We're going to discuss that. COVID's
supposed to be over now. The election's
lockdown.
over. Yeah, COVID's supposed to be over. COVID's supposed to be over, right? Come on.
How is there a pandemic for a fucking year? How does it get worse? How does it get worse? It hasn't hit the entire population yet. Well, if we just opened up and let it get out there, then we already would have been past it. That's just what common sense. I'm not an epidemiologist or a virologist or any of that shit. It's just like common sense, open it up like the flu. And we have a vaccine, and thousands of people die from the flu every single year.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, vaccine. Pfizer announced that they have a vaccine, 90% effective.
Coincidence.
Think that would have been nice if they released that information last Monday?
Well, why would they do that?
I know.
Yeah. Why the hell would they do that, man? Come on, man. No.
So, Chuck, the barbershop. We haven't heard a lot about that in the last few weeks. So
barbershop's popping, man.
I want to hear more about that crap.
Let's talk about the barbershop.
Okay, so that's going to lead us right back into Van Jones. And Chuck, you know who Van Jones is?
I know I've heard of him because of the crying situation. So
you didn't know who he was before?
I didn't know a lot about him.
You know what? I think he worked with Trump on a few things over the last couple of years, and he didn't have a lot bad to say about it when he was working with him on prison reform, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And now to see this, and I'm just going to play, it's going to lead into Joe Biden. Just watch it. It's just the blatant hypocrisy of the left. You watch, you learn, you have fun, and here it is.
Well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do. The questions come from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
But if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
The largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
What kind of a chance would a northeastern liberal like Joe Biden stand in the South?
Better than anybody else. And you don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. You got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook.
They're going to put you all back in chains. For a lot of us, he was a friend, and he was a mentor, and he was a guide.
So, Chuck, let's start with Van Jones. Okay. He's crying because Trump's out of office.
Correct.
And the whole narrative that the media has portrayed over the last 4 years, actually going on 5, right? Since 2015, right? Yeah. Holy moly. Is that Trump is a racist. He's a xenophobe. Yep. He's evil. He's that. And we talked about it before that, everyone wanted to be Donald Trump. I want to be the black Donald Trump. You said it.
Donald Trump. Absolutely.
So you see Van Jones doing that, crying because Trump's out or because a racist is in. You just saw the video. I didn't make that up. We just put it together and we put it out there. What are your thoughts as a black man in America seeing that about not the president-elect, the person who ran against Trump, who may in fact wind up being the president, but he isn't as of today?
Correct. So all the video I saw of it were put together with him crying about Trump being out. Okay. Which was strange for me at the first, because I thought this was a guy that they kind of was working together, but I don't know a whole lot about him. So that's what I thought it was. So I thought the video was strange because he said, now we how does this was this quote now we can character matters and this and that. And I was like, okay, wow, this is strange that he's crying over it, over this. But every video I saw on social media was applauding him, and it was that a lot of those folks was twisting it, saying that he's crying because Trump is out. Which, okay, I don't know why you need tears for, but whatever. To each his own. So that's how I took it, is that he was crying that Trump was out. You don't think so?
Man, who knows? He was an Obama guy. He's a socialist. He's a radical. Right. He's an Alinskyite, if you will. But there is some common sense to Van Jones from what I've seen. But he's got to play. He plays a role. I mean, he was caught on tape saying the whole thing is a nothing burger about the Russia hoax, and that was in 2017. He was caught on tape by Project Veritas, which we're going to show one of their videos in a little while here. So it's tough for me to read. I know he's an Obama guy. He's the best I can say about him now is he's a hypocrite. I think he's a huge capitalist, which good for him, but he doesn't play one on TV. He should have stayed at a Holiday Inn once or twice more. Sponsor, anyone? Holiday Inn. Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Holla, baby. Holla. Here we go.
Okay. What do you make about Biden's comments about race? Oh, and Obama specifically, he's He's the first African American. He's articulate and clean.
This was brought up years ago, you know, and at the barbershop, you know, shameless plug. But about how he had him as the vice president. I was like, of all the people out there, we get this guy who made that comment about him. Like, come on, man, you could find somebody else. You can find somebody that don't have racist comments. You can find somebody that's not trying to kiss your daughter, Matt. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You can find somebody.
You need to interject the word creepily.
Okay,
that's a word.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, come on, Matt. If I'm standing there and your girls are standing right there and I grab their hair the way he did and try to kiss him on the cheek, you would look at me like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like,
exactly.
Like, no, you know? So anyway, so I don't understand how so many people love the guy. A lot of people do.
Who, Biden?
Yes. And a lot of people that look like me do. And I don't understand what are we missing and why are we not seeing. We see the video, we see his comments, and how come we don't call him out on these comments?
Yeah, why do people, and it doesn't matter who it is, they defend him. And there's a lot of libtards watching now, and you know who the fuck you are. Who would defend that? Oh, well, Trump, you're automatically going to bring it back to Trump. And yes, a lot of us are guilty of, yeah, we're going to take sides. And that's just kind of what we do. You know, I root for the Padres, you root for the Phillies. I used to root for the Chargers, but Dean Spano sucks, and he's a loser, and he's a piece of shit, and he moved his team to LA, and you root for the Eagles. Yeah, right? So we pick our sides there. Anyway, Chuck, why do you think that just people in general, especially on the left, because they're so dug in and so brainwashed, and we're going to get into just a few moments a little bit more as to why you're brainwashed, but how can people, especially Black Americans, look at the video to which they just saw and honestly say he's not a racist, but Trump is? Anyone?
That's a great question. That is a great damn question, man. I don't get it. Like I said, I don't get it. The proof is there. A lot of Black people have seen this and be like, oh, I'm sure they got something on Trump. Okay, that's cool. If you want to say that, okay, whatever. But since we don't have that right now, okay, let's talk about the video we do have. Speak on this. And people don't want to talk about it. Well, I mean, it said it was a long time ago. It's just a bunch of excuses. So the brainwashing has been going on for years. I think especially when Obama was president and he was the vice president, it's kind of like, you know how we say, oh, Matt, you can come to the hood, you got a hood pass. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Matt, you got a hood pass. I think people just automatically gave him one because he was Obama's vice president. That's like, well, no. So
what do you make out of Biden say that he's from a slave state? And he was like vehemently defending, I'm from a slave state. Really?
Oh, man,
what is that supposed to mean?
Right. I know. How long he was? 47 years in Senate, something like that.
Yeah. What did he do? Oh, yeah, the 94 crime bill. By the way, he authored. Joe Biden authored the 94 crime bill. And just a refresher course, if you had an ounce of cocaine.
Just an ounce.
And this is hypothetically as far as the weights and whatever sentencing. But it was 10-1. Okay. If you had an ounce of cocaine, go to jail for a year. Okay. You had an ounce of crack, you go to jail for 10 years. So, Chuck, back in 94, who do you suppose had more cocaine? And who do you suppose had more crack?
The suburbs had the coke, the inner city had the crack. Oh, let me say it the right way. The white folks had the cocaine, the Black folks had the crack. Sorry, I said that the wrong way. I apologize. So let me say it the correct way.
So that bill, the 94 crime bill, what do you think that Biden was intending when he wrote it? Now, we can't get inside his head, right? Unless maybe you're Nostradamus or the Long Island Medium. Anyone.
Nice.
but we don't know what was in his head. All we can do is look at what the man wrote or what the man said, right?
Right.
So what he said was essentially, and this is just my take, this is my interpretation, you know, lawyers interpret the law, and we're going to see the courts interpret the Constitution here, whether it's the state Supreme Court or it's the U.S. Supreme Court coming down to the election here. And that's probably going to happen pretty quick. But what do you think he was thinking when he wrote that shit?
Let's get him out of here, man. Let's get him locked up. Let's get us out of here, man.
And he said they're predators, meaning you people, Chuck. You said, what do you mean by you saying you people? That's what he meant.
He knew what he was doing, and he knew the folks wasn't smart enough. The black folks wasn't smart enough to try to call him out on that shit, and they didn't. We didn't, and he got away with that shit. So, and now they are all saying, "Oh man, this is some bullshit. We shouldn't get locked up for all these years." Well, I mean, y'all put the man in office, and now you're trying to put him in office now. So, give him a higher position now after what he already did. So,
and just to sum this up, and can people and people say Trump, the biggest problem with him is that he's a liar and he's a racist. What did we just prove there?
I think exactly what you just proved: liar and a racist.
Hypocrisy only goes so far.
Only so far.
The libtards out there, you can't really argue that shit. It's on video in his own words. Well, Trump's a liar and a racist, and you're brainwashed by Trump and this and that. It's like, no, what people don't understand, okay, is that you don't have the right to push your stupid ass ideology onto me or anyone else that I know that thinks the same way, because all we want to do, if we're conservatives, libertarians, whatever, we just want to live free, be left alone, okay? Don't bother me with your stupid bullshit, okay? And facts being facts, conservatives, on average, donate more of their income to charities than liberals. And this isn't in a rundown, but I got to say this shit because this bugs me. And I've said it to some of my liberal friends in the past. Okay? And this is regarding health care, because this is a big freaking issue. Here's a simple solution. Here's a model that can work. And here's a model where you can put your money where your mouth is. And it starts with sponsorship. If you want us to pay for everyone for healthcare because you think it is a right, I think it is a right too, but who has the right to tell whom or who to pay for it, right? How's that all going to work? So, simple solution. We go back to the way it was before Obamacare killed everything. And I have a story about that, which I can share.
Obamacare, boy. Oh, man.
I can't share. When I started my business, it fucked everything up. Okay. Yep. So you don't have the right to tell us we need to pay for it. And you say, well, it is a right, and that's fine. It's a right. People also have a right to eat. Is everyone supposed to pay for everyone to eat as well? Well, yes, under Bernie Sanders, everyone has a right. Well, maybe if Bernie Sanders did it right, he would sit there after every speech and we'd call AOC up and he'd tell everyone, everybody, start your engines. AOC would come up and he would just start motorboating. I think everyone would be a lot happier if we all did that. AOC, I don't like anything that you say, but you're kind of hot and you, whatever, it'd be kind of fun. And I think Bernie may or may not have done it based on what he has at home. So here's the thing, sponsorship. If you want to support people, take money out of your own pocket, okay? And everyone can do this. And there could be different sponsorship levels. It could be as simple as sponsorship packages for a golf tournament, okay? You got your gold, silver, and bronze, right? Here's what I want to donate. Here's what I want to sponsor per month, okay? And maybe it's one family. Maybe it's two families. Maybe it just goes into a pot. But put your money where your mouth is. Well, that's not going to work. Well, yeah, it will. But you people don't want to spend any of your own money. Just like if, we want open borders. Okay, fine. You can have all the people coming that you want. But I'll tell you what, here's what's going to happen. We're going to build a place right next to your gated community, right next to your house. And all the immigrants are going to live right next door to you. What do you think about that? Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. You see how stupid your logic is? Let's look at common sense.
Oh yeah.
Chuck, thoughts on my stupid rant? What do you think about sponsorship for healthcare?
Sorry, my Obama phone was ringing. My bad.
Sponsorship for, I mean, shit, you work in healthcare. What do you think about sponsorship?
The Obamacare messed a lot of shit up. It really changed the game. It wasn't good for it. Listen, if I want to sponsor somebody's family and pay for their healthcare, that's on me. Okay. Right. But that's just my own personal thing doing. Don't force me to do it. Oh, don't try to force me to do it. Okay. To me, does everybody have a right to get healthcare? Sure, I would love for everybody to have healthcare, but that's just not how it goes. Okay. So it's going to look a little different for me. It's going to look a little different for you, Matt. So it is what it is. But don't just give the shit away. Don't give it away. Don't force somebody to pay for it, and don't give it away. It is fucked up out there. I think there's some like here, we have a hospital, a general hospital here, that if you don't have any health care and you're sick and something's fucked up, that you can go there and they will, treat you for no cost. They will treat you for no cost. Well, obviously it's the taxpayers' cost, but they will treat you for no cost. So there's stuff out there. There's definitely stuff out there.
Can I tell you the problem with Obamacare and what happened in 2014? So
speak your mind, baby.
I left my job and was making a pretty good living. Okay. Working, I'm a commission only salesperson, technology field.
I thought that's when you were shaking your ass on a pole. Was that job or no?
Say that again.
And I thought that's when you were shaking your ass for money. Is that not? That was.
Yeah, that's still there.
Okay. Cool.
Everyone needs some extra cash.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Go ahead.
So, had the opportunity to do something on my own, because you always, as humans, you always think you can do it better, and especially if you're an employee, you're like, my boss is an idiot. I didn't think my bosses were idiots. They're really smart, and they were actually mentors to me, and I learned a lot from them because they got to work at a smaller, mid-sized business, and they gave me an opportunity to kind of, run your own business within the business, and a lot of salespeople are able to do that. So I started my business. Left my job in early 2014. I left it without really a business model or business plan in place. I just figured I was going to make this shit happen.
Yeah.
And so we're doing a couple of things. They're trying to create a product, a sports related product, doing that. And then all of a sudden, Cobra ran out, and through my job, I provided insurance. Mine got paid for, but then I had to pay for my wife at the time. Correct. And my kids, right?
Correct.
And that was $300 a month, Chuck. We're getting into numbers. It's $300 a month.
Okay. That's
it. So you add me on there, that's another $100 for my own plan, whatever. Catastrophic care type of thing. Sure. I was how old was I? 30, 35, whatever. That's all I need.
Tell your age.
So Obamacare hits, and we're sitting there trying to get the kids covered, then us covered. So I told you the $300, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they wanted to cover all four of us at that time? When I just left my job and I didn't have income. You know what they wanted?
About $3,000 a month, easily.
It wasn't that much. It was $1,250. Okay. It was $1,250. So it went from $300 a month. Add me on. Okay, that's another 100, 150, whatever. That's $450.
Mm-hmm.
Another $800 a month when I have no income and I'm putting everything that I have into this business and trying to figure everything out.
Yeah.
So had it just been left the same,
you'd have been all right.
It would have been so much easier. So you know what we did? We covered the kids and we just said we don't need it for now.
Yep.
We don't need it for now. That's what we did.
Yep.
Now, everyone's argument to Obamacare is, and every libtard's going to say the same thing, including my buddies. And, they don't like the term. That's fine. My buddies on the left, I love you. And, I do. But they're just stupid ideas. Oh, well, Obama gave healthcare to 20 million people that didn't have it before. Okay, great. Fantastic. I think that's awesome. That's amazing. But you fucked 50 million people.
Correct.
At the same time. No one ever talks about that. I was one of those people. Other small business owners, they were screwed too. What about people owning restaurants? They had to cut people's hours. People were working over 40 hours a week. They had to cut them down to 37, 38, some 30. And then what that means is that they're not getting as many tips either. So you're reducing their income,
losing money
exponentially, right? When my brother was a server, my sister-in-law, they were servers. And same thing, $88 a month, 120. My brother started paying for his own insurance when he's like 18, $100 a month. A couple of my friends did the same thing. That all went away. What were they supposed to do?
Well,
Meaning, in the service industry, what do you do? It's like $88. You're like, okay, great, fine.
Yeah, you get fucked. That's the problem. People don't want to talk about the folks who's getting fucked. They just look at the quote unquote positive numbers. They don't look at the negative numbers. Why is that? Well, because the media twists that shit. If they'd have talked about how many people was getting screwed or how many people would have got screwed, maybe it wouldn't have passed. I don't know. Go ahead.
That's all the stuff that we're running into again because Biden is the presumed winner.
Allegedly.
And that's still in question. No, it's not. Well, it is because no state has been certified. Now I'm going to pull up a graph here, Chuck. We're going to look at it.
Let's look at it.
You tell me if there's some discrepancies. This is from the state of Michigan.
Oh, okay. Man, Michigan.
Here, look at this.
They got honest.
Excuse me, it's Wisconsin.
Oh,
it's Wisconsin. Okay. Wisconsin and Michigan. You see this? We go to bed 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. on the East Coast. Trump's up by thousands of votes. Then look at this. Put a nipple right there. Sorry, what they did right there. Sorry, I didn't say that. Hopefully, no kids are watching. Not supposed to be for kids.
Yeah.
They got two of them right there. So in Michigan, look what happens. Look what happens. Look at. How does that happen?
Get them while you sleep, huh?
And so a lot of these places stopped counting votes.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. That's true.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Atlanta, Fulton County, and we know your home state, Philadelphia,
the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, baby,
which is still in question, right?
Yes.
So a logical person would say, well, why are they stopping to count votes? I don't even think I've gotten your opinion on this. Why do you think they stopped to count votes?
I don't know. I kind of thought that was weird too. I was like, why are we stopping? What's the point of stopping? The whole point is count votes so we can see who's the winner is. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why they stopped. Maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know why they stopped, but they had to tweak it a little bit to get it correct, right?
Okay, so a lot of people listening, watching, or whatever, like, well, they didn't do that. Why would they do that?
Oh, they did.
To win, and we talked about this last week, by any means necessary. And if your belief is a certain ideology, or your ideology is your new religion, which, by the way, Charlie Kirk pointed this out again the other night. And if you haven't watched Charlie Kirk's podcast, please do so. It's one of the best places to get information real time. Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. It's fantastic. So I just don't understand how you can honestly sit there as a human being and not think, they stopped counting, which really hasn't happened in this country before, to stop counting and we're just going to take time off. We're going to go to the bar, come back. Hopefully there's more votes for Biden at that time. And then we'll put them through the tabulator. Or if not, then we're just going to sit there and fill in some top heavy ballots that are not down ballot filled in, right? Which means they just voted for Biden, and that's because that's quicker. Think about it.
Hey man, right? I got a question for you, man. This is a $1 million question right here. Let me see how good you are with geography. Philadelphia. Do you know which state is a Philadelphia suburb that's considered a Philadelphia suburb? That's literally 15 minutes from downtown Philadelphia. Do you know what state that is?
What, New Jersey?
Well, New Jersey is right there, but there's one more state that's right there that is considered a Philadelphia suburb. Delaware.
Dude, Wayne and Garth. Remember? Wayne and Garth on what the hell's a movie? Anyway, we're in Delaware.
Delaware, yes.
We're in
Delaware.
Wonder why I didn't remember.
Delaware, Matt. Just saying, buddy. Just is it a coincidence? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
All I know is it doesn't make too much sense. You know, you go to bed and it was 1 a.m. out here. Go to bed. Trump's up. Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, obviously
yeah,
North Carolina.
Yep.
And I wake up and he's losing. And it wasn't that long. I mean, it's 7 a.m. out here. I got up and I'm like, turn it on. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? But the libs, they're trying to say, oh, there's a red mirage. There's a red mirage. So Joe Biden, he's going to get up early. And then Trump, he's going to come back. And that's that red mirage, right? And then there's going to be the blue wave that comes in at the end. Why do you suppose that the media was promoting this? Because perhaps they were all in on it? Perhaps, allegedly. What do you think? I mean, hell, you grew up in Philadelphia. You know the type of shit that goes on there.
Listen, Philadelphia's always been a corrupt place. It's just now was on a national stage, and everybody's like, "What?" I got so many texts like, "Man, what's going on with the city?" I was like, "Why are y'all surprised? Why are we surprised by this, man?" Okay, it's a fucked up city, man. And again, I'm just being honest. You fly into Philadelphia International, Delaware. The state of Delaware is probably a couple miles from there. Okay, and it's very close, and people can be swayed, by a little, elbows or maybe drop some money off. So I'm just saying, I ain't saying it happened. All I'm saying is it could be swayed, and that city is a struggling city. It's a struggling city. Financially, it's a struggling city. So why would they do it? I don't know, but everybody can be paid off. So I ain't saying that's what happened, but I mean,
that they can.
Something's fishy. Something's fishy.
Well, something fishy. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. So this is an article from American Thinker. It's like George
American
Bush.
Thinker. Let's go.
I'm an American. Wait, let me.
America.
I'm an American thinker.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. The most striking feature of the data, and this is pertaining to Wisconsin. Okay, we got to pay attention to this, people. The most striking feature of the data is a fact that cries out for clarification. In 7 wards, voter turnout appears to have exceeded 100%. In 2 of those wards, turnout exceeded 200%.
Wow.
In another 15 wards, voter turnout exceeded 95%. Joe Biden carried 21 of 22 wards of the 95+% wards. But then again, he carried all but 1 of the 67 additional wards in which the turnout was above 90% and won 80% of the vote citywide. Oh my goodness, Chuck. What the hell? What the hell? All you gotta say is what the hell?
A lot of dead people voted or something. I mean, what happened, man? I don't know.
Normal turnout in Wisconsin is around 70,
man.
and they have a high turnout. Okay.
Yeah.
It's around 70, 72%. That's normal. Rest of the nation is not that high.
Right.
They don't have the right drugs.
Damn. Need some of that Wisconsin drugs. All right. Give me some.
So how do you suppose that happened?
I mean, didn't you vote 2 or 3 times? You didn't do that?
74. It didn't work here in California.
Okay. I mailed 3 in, and then I went into polls early and on the day of. I mean, shoot, everybody did it. Come on, Matt. That's what I think happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen to this. BBC came out with an article in 2016, and by the way, Charlie Kirk show. They're laying out all this stuff, all the up-to-date information. Charlie Kirk. We come back and we kind of talk about all of that and add a little bit more opinion. That's what we do here. A little more opinion. We got some fact mix in. We just have a little bit of fun with this whole deal. So check this out. BBC came out with this article. 2016 American Thinker.
6 steps.
So BBC 2020 election tracks the BBC list of voter rigging indicators. And this is what the BBC came up with. Okay. And this was based on Gabon in Africa. And there's 6 indicators here, signs you need to look for. Okay. One of which, the first sign, and this is per the BBC. Okay, per the BBC, what they say, first sign is too many voters. Chuck, how is it that Obama got 38% less voters in certain counties in Wisconsin than Joe Biden did? How is that possible?
Apparently it's possible. Apparently.
Charisma, personality versus weekend at Bernie's.
Right.
Okay, that's just one thing. Number 2, while the second sign is usually high turnout in specific areas, and this is courtesy of Andrea Widberg of the American Thinker, per the BBC, she got a lot of this information from. High turnout in a specific area, like Detroit, Milwaukee, Fulton County, Atlanta, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Right? So those are things to look for.
Yep.
Now, again, the most striking feature of data is a fact that cries out for clarification. In 7 wards in Wisconsin, voter turnout appears to have exceeded 100% in 2 of those wards. Turnout over 200%. In another 15 wards, voter turnout exceeded 95%. Joe Biden carried 21 of 22 wards of the 95+% wards. It's insane, dude. They laid it all out.
How does that happen? How do you even come up with that? You know what I'm saying? So like if you have to do a lot of thinking to say, hey, let's make sure we get our numbers to 200%. That's a lot of man. That's a lot of
I don't think they thought it was going to get to 200. I think they just started
throwing it out there. Yeah.
Harvesting all the ballots, right? They got every single ballot. You know, in Wisconsin, 90% of old people, 90+-year-olds, they registered and they voted all for Biden. Actually, that was in Pennsylvania, not in Wisconsin. There's a bunch of states mixed in here. Let's get to number 3.
Same stuff.
The third sign is large numbers of invalid votes. Oh, like dead people voting. And there's a lot of that, and that's fact. That's proof there. You can't argue that dead people haven't voted. And let's be fair, they do every election, and that's the rolls on the voter rolls that both parties don't necessarily want to get rid of, primarily the Democrats, because a lot of times it'll favor them, right? Again, this election has been rife with invalid votes. A fourth sign, the reconciliation of paper ballots to votes is not yet an issue that we've seen. The fifth sign, which is pretty critical, results don't match, is an issue. This occurs when officials change results after they count the votes. The way to stop that is to allow poll watchers from all parties to witness the count. In Pennsylvania and Michigan, Republican poll watchers have been driven off the scene, which should have been taken as a prima facie evidence of results that won't match the polls. And we've seen videos of that as well. Now, this is the biggest one to me, okay, besides the turnout. Delay in announcing results.
Ain't that what we're doing now?
Well, look at it. Look at it. We talked about it last week. So we're our teams are playing football. I get up by 30 points, right? And end of the fourth quarter, game's over. You're like, no, the game is not over like it normally is. We're going to extend this, okay? We're going to extend this for a little while, right? It may be another quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 4, maybe 5 or 6, just depends. It depends. And then all of a sudden you're going to say, well, Matt, your team, you're going to be on defense the whole time. How does that sound? You get to work on your defense while we're going to work on our offense. And we're going to be on offense until we catch up and then we eventually win. How does that sound?
It sounds like a damn stupid ass game right there to me.
And then there's just going to be a running clock.
Oh yeah.
That's infinite, I should say.
Yeah. It sound like some shit is in the game, baby.
So
that's what it sounds like.
And you know, people are like, oh, well, there's no evidence. No, there's 234 affidavits. That's under oath, penalty of perjury. So whatever, let the courts figure it out. All you a-holes in 2016, 17, 18, 19, we need an investigation. We need an investigation. Well, you got your stupid investigations. You came up with nothing. So therefore, all of you should feel pretty confident nothing's going to come out of this. Let's just let it run its course. Make sure everyone feels good about it moving forward. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people and not too excited to engage, or maybe the flip side of it, over engagement. I don't think there's going to be any riots because conservatives typically don't burn down their own cities or businesses. It's just bad for business.
Yeah. Yep.
The only ones that do that are anarchists and communists. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Exactly what they do.
So, Chuck, what do you think is going to happen from this election? We went over the election fraud, meaning from the BBC, they pointed out from a third world country what to look for. And we have a lot of those in play here, and especially extending the results. When's the last time that happened in a presidential election? Well, 2000.
Was it 2000? Yeah, 2000.
Bush v. Gore.
Yeah.
Right? That lasted 37 days, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So everyone let it run its course. But I want to say this too. Usually we'll know that night who's a projected winner. And that night we probably could have projected that Trump was the winner. But then in the morning we woke up and then all of a sudden magically, it's like fucking Lucky Charms. All these votes come in. And whether or not 138,000 came in Michigan, another 65,000 in Wisconsin, or vice versa, that came in with no Trump votes, 100% for Biden, I guess we'll find out with the canvassing, the recounts, or maybe even a revote, which is unlikely.
Yeah.
But we'll see where this goes. All I know for me is that there's something fishy going on here.
Some shit in the game, baby. There's some shit in the game. And I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny, man. You know, I just been thinking like, you know, my mind be wandering sometimes, man. I was just thinking, I was like, what if his ass is, let's just say for, you know, this for shits and giggles, you know, hey, all right, Trump, you lost, you got to get up out the White House. So you're like, man, fuck you, I ain't leaving. You know what I'm saying?
Well, honestly,
you know, that'd be funny to me, man.
From what I've read, and I've heard, per the Constitution, Trump does not have to leave. Freak out, liberals! He does not, because the sitting president has to be satisfied with the previous election. The person that's coming in to replace him, that everything was fair and that it was valid and it was legit. That's per the Constitution.
Okay, so there's like no eviction notice or nothing that has to pop up or something like that.
Well, look, man, don't cheat. I don't know why.
So I'm just kind of like,
and I want to say this
too. How does it work?
So the 2001 Rams, who beat the 2001 Rams in the Super Bowl?
Was that the greatest show on turf right there?
Yeah. Who beat them in the Super Bowl?
It was the Patriots.
Yeah. Did the Patriots really have any shot at beating them that year?
I guess technically yes, but no.
They did.
Show on turf. Yeah.
They did. Yeah, they played them in a regular season. Things didn't go all that great, but they felt like they could play with them, right?
Yeah.
But they play them in a Super Bowl, and it's like, well, the Rams are going to take care of business. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that there's so much video and quotes about players from the 2001 Rams team that is still a little bit upset about what happened, because they were always questioning, how did the Patriots know this play was coming when we just installed it this week? We just installed this play this week, right?
Okay.
Later, they found out they had some intern dude who was up in the seats videoing what the hell they were doing, so the Patriots could prepare for it. So where I'm going with this is that the Rams feel like, on some level, and I'm not going to speak for them, that the Super Bowl was kind of stolen from them. Now, could they have changed that? Could Martz have run the ball a little more? Yeah, and they were telling him run the ball. You got Marshall, run the ball. He's like, no, I'm going to beat him with the passing game with Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt. Yep.
And that's an ego thing. So there's that too. But I bet you if you were to poll those guys, they'd say, yeah, on some level, I feel like we were cheated a little bit. What if we had the same opportunity to do the same thing that the Patriots did, right?
Right.
So this is kind of where I'm going with this. And everything for me, and I know for you, Chuck, but I don't want to speak for you, it goes back to sports. How do you relate everything to sports? Well, this is one of the ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you felt like you were cheated or your team got cheated, how the hell do you think you would react?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be hot, man. Especially right after it happened, I'm gonna definitely voice my opinion and be very upset about it. Have a few choice words, and then a little later on, I probably have a better way of coming about it. But I'm still gonna be pissed off about it. So
Well, yeah, goddamn right. So for all of you out there,
all of you people,
yes, you people that are upset with Trump supporters and we need to come together now. We need to move on. Look, you sons of bitches did not at all concede that Trump actually won. Russia, Russia, Russia. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Kavanaugh's a rapist. Stormy Daniels. Yeah, the Trump banged a porn star. Oh, he was married at the time. Okay, he's Donald Trump. Okay, whatever. He paid her off. He wasn't in office at the time, you freaking morons. Joe Biden was in office at the time when his son set up all these effing business deals with China, Ukraine, Iran. The list goes on and on and on. Is that right? Iran and on? Look at that.
Iran and
and
on.
on. You're welcome. Poet didn't know it. He was in office. He leveraged his power to enrich himself. Now, I'm not saying all these motherfuckers don't do that. They do. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised if Trump found the presidency as a way to be the biggest racket for him to beat all of his friends and make the most money ever.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is that a possibility? Hell yeah, that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't think that, well, that's you. That's just how I think, right? So given that, how can you not think that some of this voter fraud is possible when we laid it out in third world countries? Delaying the results, which is the easiest way. Mail-in ballots. Hey, I'm going to mail one to you. Mail one to you. You get a car. You get a car. You're cool. Fuck you. You're cool. I mean, what the hell?
Oh, man. Hey man, hey, talk your shit, baby. You gotta be pissed off about it. I'm sure he is, and it's gonna be funny and interesting and very, I'm interested in how these laws gonna drop because some of these things I don't know, like how they gonna fight about it. But Trump's slick, man. He gonna find every way. His lawyer's slick. They're gonna find every way to go about it, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
Chuck, are you familiar with whistleblowers?
Snitches. Oh, sorry, whistleblowers. My bad.
So, we got to protect the whistleblowers, right?
Snitch.
As far as the precedent set by the left and especially Nancy Pelosi, we have to protect the whistleblower at all costs. Take a look at Nancy saying this.
Oh, Nancy.
The whistleblower is there to speak truth to power and have protection for doing that. And any retribution or harm coming to a whistleblower undermines our ability to hear truth about power. So I will defend the rights of the whistleblower vehemently. Vehemently.
There we go.
So Richard Hopkins, we're gonna put this up. We're gonna play a video. Richard Hopkins, he's a postal worker in the state of Pennsylvania. Chuck, your home state. Your home state.
That's right.
He alleged some voter fraud, and he's a whistleblower. You just saw Nancy Pelosi talking about the whistleblowers, and I thought she was going to say whistleblower's job is to blow whistles. They're like soccer coaches, and it's our job to protect them blowing whistles. Anyway, here's what we got for. I'm going to set this up real quick. Project Veritas. Richard Hopkins, he's a postal worker. Here's Project Veritas. They just do really good work. Take a look.
They were grilling the hell out of me.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm kind of pissed. I feel like I just got played. And I heard him say to the supervisor that they messed up yesterday. I was like, oh, what did they mess up on? And he told the supervisor that they had postmarked one of the ballots for the 4th instead of the 3rd, because they were supposed to put them for the 3rd.
And so let me make good on that promise right away. Okay, this storm is getting crazy, right? And it's out of a lot of people's control. And so the reason they called me in is to try to harness that storm, try to reel it back in before it gets really crazy. Okay, because we have senators involved, we have the Department of Justice involved, we have
Trump's lawyers team's gotten a hold of me.
I'm not. Well, I am actually. I am trying to twist you a little bit, because in that, believe it or not, your mind will kick in. We like to control our mind, and when we do that, we can convince ourselves of a memory. But when you're under a little bit of stress, which is what I'm doing to you purposely, your mind can be a little bit clearer. And we're going to do a different exercise too to make your mind a little bit clearer. Okay?
There you go.
So, but this is all on purpose.
Roger.
I'm not scaring you, but I am scaring you here.
It seems like they were trying to make me distrust y'all. And at the same time, it kind of affected, but at the same time, I was like, no, these guys have had my back since the get-go. So that's why I continued.
Do you think these federal agents have your back?
At this point, no. Hell
Do you
no.
think these federal agents are really interested in investigating fraud?
Honestly, I don't think they are.
And in fact, you heard Weisenberg tell a supervisor they were backdating the ballots to make it appear they've been collected on November 3rd. You still stand by that?
Yeah.
Yes.
They were grilling the hell out of me.
How are you feeling right now?
So, Chuck, what did you think about the USPS IG? I'm gonna twist you a little bit. I'm gonna scare you a little bit, but I'm not going to scare you. But I am scaring you. Talk about manipulation and thinking that that Richard's a complete moron.
Right. Right.
What do you think? How would you feel if you were in that position? And this guy's like, the entire government and the entire world's going to come down on you because of what you're saying. And maybe you just don't remember it that way. Maybe you remember it this way, where it didn't quite happen like that.
Here, let me help you remember how it happened, because we weren't there, but we're going to help you remember how it happened. So yeah, you know, that was in Erie, PA, right? I think that's the county. It said it went down in. And
Erie.
Yeah, so if you look at the state of Pennsylvania map, and if you break it down between a red county or a blue county, okay, there are the county of Philadelphia County is one that was blue. Allegheny County, which is Pittsburgh, also was blue. State College, I don't know the name of the county, but that's where Penn State University was blue. And the county would hold Erie, Pennsylvania is blue. I think Scranton was another one, but I think there was 4 or 5 counties that was blue in the whole state of Pennsylvania. The rest was red. So I'm not surprised that happened and went down in Erie. Is this Erie's it's a small city, blue collared, very, not a whole lot of money. So there's a lot of people you can probably help remember some things, if you know what I'm saying. So, he got caught up in it. So
he's a whistleblower.
Correct.
And he was talking about a supervisor and how they got caught backdating to the 4th on one ballot when all the other ballots were backdated to the 3rd.
Idiots.
So they're talking about how they messed up on one of them, that they backdated to the 4th because all
you had one job. You had one job.
Yeah. So just think about that. So the Washington Post and the mainstream media, of course, tries to discredit him because it's perceived that he's helping the president, right?
Correct.
And he is a whistleblower. And according to Nancy Pelosi, whistleblowers must blow whistles. They must be protected at all costs. They must be protected. So what does the Washington Post do? Let's pull this shit up right here.
Let's see it.
Postal worker recanted allegations of ballot tampering, officials say. And this is by Sean Booberg of the Washington Post. November 10th, 2020, 5:24 p.m. And there's also a Jacob Bogage.
Bogage, yeah.
Bogage?
That's what it looks like.
It is. It is Bogage. Let's read this here. Pennsylvania postal worker whose claims have been cited by top Republicans as potential evidence of widespread voting irregularities admitted to the U.S. Postal Service investigators that he fabricated the allegations, according to 3 officials briefed on the investigation and a statement from a House Congressional Committee. So, Chuck, when we were going to school, could we say according to 3 officials? Or did we have to be specific?
You had to be specific.
I can't reveal my source, though. So back in the day, if you were credible, you could say this shit, right?
Yep.
You could say this stuff. Now you can't. Now it's just all bullshit. So they're saying the guy, Richard Hopkins, God bless him, by the way, a veteran, and he said, and I don't know if in the short piece, but the full piece, Project Veritas, you can see it on projectveritas.com, that he would rather be in Afghanistan right now than where he's sitting today.
Damn.
That's what he said with all the bullshit that he's dealing with.
Damn. That sucks.
He's 32 years old. He's got a daughter. He's just trying to protect. He's trying to protect his family.
Correct.
And they said that he recanted, which he did not. And this again is on Project Veritas's website from Richard Hopkins, Marine veteran, USPS whistleblower Richard Hopkins stands by his original account. I did not recant. Hopkins describes more than 3 hours kept in a room without lawyer or union rep with post office agents grilling the hell out of me. I just got played.
They got you, brother.
I thought we had to protect the whistleblower.
Well, nobody protected him, man. That's a shame.
Well, we can. All of us can. We all can protect
Speak
him.
your truth, dog. Speak your truths.
And there's 234 affidavits, which we said, and there's probably more. There's probably more by now. And me personally, I haven't wanted to speak up, and we're going to get into this in a live part of the week in a few moments. But I haven't wanted to speak up because I was in fear of hurting my business, right?
Got you.
So I didn't want to say anything, and you see all these people say stuff online. I'm like, I don't want to waste the energy because it's not good energy. You're talking about politics all the time.
Yeah.
And you're having these arguments with people, and it's just not healthy.
No.
But it got to a point where you're just like, these people are kind of insane. They are just kind of insane. And that kind of segues into what we're talking about. Saul Alinsky and the 8 levels of control. And by the way, this is Communist Ideology, Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. I have the goddamn book on my phone, and I listened to half of it. I couldn't listen to the whole thing because I was disgusted by it. And I had to turn the thing off. But within the first minute and 20 seconds, Saul Alinsky was quoted talking about Lucifer. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I have it right here. I don't know if I put it in here. I may have it up there. I'd have to look. Saul Alinsky, the very first radical, and by the way, first minute and 20 seconds of the book. The very first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucifer. Holy shit, man.
Satan himself, baby.
Dude, what are we talking about there? What are we talking about?
Man.
I buy into the theory that this is good versus evil. And if you're an ideologue, which if you're a conservative, you're libertarian, whatever, independent, you're not so much an ideologue. You're just like, I kind of want to live my life. I want to help people when I can. I want to be a good person. I want to raise good kids. I want to do things in the community for the community.
Sure. Sure.
Like,
sounds reasonable to me.
Is that not the basic concept, Chuck?
Not for everybody. But that's a great concept to have, baby. You know, you go to work every day, you know what I'm saying? You do what's right for your family. You don't bother anybody, you don't get in trouble. What the fuck is the problem, right? You know, you just do you, man.
Well, here's part of the argument. A friend of mine told me this too, who's on the left. Great person, great coach, by the way, too. But he's like, you live in a community. It's community. So you have more responsibilities because you're not living in a rural area where you're like on a farm, this and that. I'm like, I understand what you're saying. And then I went back to the food argument. It's like, are you going to put food on my table every night? And the answer is no. Okay, so we're done. It's because at the end of the day, it's the same thing. I'm not going to put food on your table unless you need my help. And in which case, I'm going to do everything I can to try and help you. And if I can't help you, I'm going to try and find other people that can.
There's plenty of stuff out there that can help. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you do, but it's when it's pressed upon you that you have to do these certain things, otherwise you're evil. That's the problem. Again, don't tell me what the fuck to do. Don't tell me what the fuck to think. Don't tell me that shit, because it's none of your business. It's not your right, first of all, to tell me what to do and to take 70% of my income.
Damn.
I don't think so. 7 cents on the
Fuck
dollar
that, man. Fuck that.
is going to the government. We're giving it to bureaucrats who have never been in business, the majority of them, except for Trump. Prosperity and peace. Oh my God. Yeah, shit. That's I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
Get into that in a second. Dude.
What are you doing?
Huh?
I said,
That's my pen, by the way. Get fired up about some of this stuff.
You do
laugh. Like you try and laugh at all of it, but it comes down to a little bit of insanity. And here's the insanity that I'm talking about. And you can perceive this how you want, but in my mind, this is what's going on in our country, because there are rules. There is a methodology. There's an ideology to bring America into a totalitarian, communist, socialist regime. And here's how it works. There we go. Saul Alinsky, we talked about him a lot. Hillary mentor, Obama mentor. Hillary knew him. I'm not sure if Obama did or not. I think he was too young. But Obama was always drawn to the Marxists at his universities, and that's what he said in his book. I didn't make that up either. So number one, the 8 levels of control. Healthcare, Chuck, which we talked about. Control healthcare, and you control the people. So what did Obama do?
Obamacare, baby.
There you go. Poverty. Oh, this is always a good one. Increase poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control and will not fight back if you are providing everything for them to live.
Obama phone. Give him a phone.
So leftists think poor people are idiots. That's kind of the deal, right? That's what that says.
Correct.
Leftists think poor people are idiots.
Very easy to control. Yep.
Increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way, you are all able to increase taxes, and this will produce more poverty. Gun control. Remove people's ability to defend themselves from government. That way, you are all able to create a police state. What has the left been talking about for years? Number 5,
go ahead.
Welfare. Take control of every aspect of people's lives. Food, housing, income. What has been the platform for the Democrat Party over the last few years? We're going to provide everything for you. You don't worry.
I don't like handouts. I never did, never will. Can't stand it.
School, housing, food. Yang, the candidate who's a super successful entrepreneur, he's talking about universal income, $1,000, whatever.
Yeah, and he moved. Is he the one that's moving to Georgia to run down?
Yeah,
there?
Andrew Yang.
Yes. Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, who's been promoting these policies? It's not the conservatives. It is not. So you can't say it is.
That's what they will say.
The leftists. You may not call yourself a leftist. You're like, I'm a moderate. That's fine. But this is what you voted for. Just so you know. Education. Take control of what people read and listen to. Take control of what children learn in school. What are they doing? What have they done for years now, especially at the university level? Hire Marxist professors.
Hire your people to teach.
Yeah,
teach my people.
That's right. That's right.
There it is.
All about brainwashing.
It really is.
And if you don't understand that this is how this works, well, I'm just going to play this quick video of Yuri, and he's going to explain.
Let's go, Yuri.
The moralization, what happens at the end, and it's just about a minute or whatever, but just watch.
Exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization.
There we go.
So, Chuck, what did he say? I'm asking a question.
Oh, okay. Remember, I don't like to be asked questions, man. I'm like you, man. I want to say and do what I'm just playing with you, man. I mean, people wake the fuck up. That's basically what he's saying. Wake the fuck up.
He could literally take you to a concentration camp.
Yes.
And you won't believe that that's a concentration camp.
Oh, that's what it is, though.
because you've been indoctrinated.
Because you
You believe you've replaced religion. And mind you, I'm not a huge religious guy or religion guy, but I believe in God, and I'm very spiritual. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
But you've replaced faith with your ideology, and that's what you believe in. So imagine if someone tells you that your God doesn't exist. That's kind of how it is for them. So that's why everything that we tell these people, no, that's why that crazy broad when Trump got elected. No, I was trying to look for that video today, but
yes.
things shut down. So that's the insanity that we're working with. Let's finish this up. Religion, remove the belief in God from the government and all schools.
Did that years ago.
Here's number one, and here's where Obama exceeded the most. And here's where the left has been so good, right? Divide the people into the wealthy and the poor. This will cause more discontent, and it will be easier to take from the wealthy via the tax with the support of the poor. Now, did we make this up, Chuck?
No, hell no, you didn't make this up.
No, we didn't make it up. We did not make it up at all. And this is kind of where we are, which leads us into an election. And I want to show you guys something else here on an election. It has to do with Venezuela and Hugo Chavez. Remember how the left was talking about packing the courts and Biden wouldn't answer it? Biden. Venezuela's dictator, Hugo Chavez, packed the courts. Okay, by 2006, at the beginning of the judicial year, elected judges to Venezuela's Supreme Court were chanting, Chavez won't leave, which is a classic slogan in support of the former dictator, making even more evidence a rupture in the separation of powers. He added, so essentially what he did, he added 12 more justices to their Supreme Court.
He just added it himself.
He did.
Wow.
To go in his favor.
I mean, smart man, right? I guess.
Well, that way he'd never be opposed. And look at these quotes.
Correct.
In multiple interviews before being elected, he specified that he would be neither a socialist nor authoritarian. Once in office, he did not keep his word and instead spread the phrase fatherland, socialism, or death. Thanks to his packed courts, nothing could be done.
This is who they got in the office, man. That's a fucking shame.
So this is kind of where we're at, and this is where the left wants to go, because if they get into power, and that's why the senatorial race is so important in Georgia with the runoffs coming up in January. And I read something today in Alaska. We got one in, so we only need to win one in Georgia. I don't know if that's true or not. But if we keep the Senate, then we can kind of prevent the onslaught of communism to an extent. So we'll have to see where this goes.
That's true, though. You can't let all that bullshit pass.
So, Chuck, last couple of things here, because we're going to wrap it up. I know both of us have to get going. The barbershop. Well, before that, I hope some of this was informational, what we just went over. Chuck, looking more for a little bit of levity here with the barbershop. What do you got?
All right. So, of course, topic about the barbershop conversation was obviously the election and how that process was going. It wasn't too crazy this weekend, but, a lot of people that, that looks like me was coming in saying, hey, we just got to get him up out of there, man. Just glad we came out. We just got to get him up out of there. And, me, who don't ever like to stir the pot, just had to say, okay, so what if my brothers in here, we all voted for Trump? What would you say to that? Oh, man, why would y'all do that? I said, okay. I said, Just saying. Was trying to be. I said, so you know your damn taxes is going to double. That shit's going to skyrocket. Well, I said, I said, I live in a Democratic county, and my property taxes went up 34% this year. Not 3%, Matt. Not 4%. 34 fucking percent. Okay. Yes. Okay. And I had to tell him that. I said, y'all live in Davidson County, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a blue county. Your taxes
Right.
going to go up, buddy. What do you think about that? You know, and then you're going to have to give up this and give up that and help the next person out. And your 401k is going to go to shit. How do you feel about that? You've been working for the city for you. Oh man, I don't like that. I said, so this is why you got to do your research. Do your research, man. Listen, if you want to vote whatever way you vote, just make sure you do your research. Okay. Now I might disagree with how you're going to vote, but just do your research, man. And again, don't fucking assume that I'm just voting for one party. Like I said earlier, before we came on air, I work at a hospital. Okay. And surgery center versus hospital. So when I go to the main hospital, there's a lot of brothers walking around, Matt. It's a lot of brothers walking around. Some, mostly, unfortunately for them, they're positions of cleaning a room, taking out the trash, not very high position. But I talk to those guys all the time. I don't know. I talk to everybody. Okay. Well, you know, a lot of them today was standing around talking. I rolled up on them, said, "What's up? Hey man, yeah, we really got trouble about it there, man. Hell yeah, man. We gotta get you. You know what I'm saying?" I'm like, okay, y'all happy about that? Oh yeah, hell yeah, yeah. So okay, okay. I said I gotta go because I didn't want to start that conversation and get involved. But I'm just, to me, I'm like, why do everybody just assume? Why do everybody assume? Because if you look at the numbers, Matt, it's like a higher of black male percentage of black male voting Republican went up. Okay, and it went up like 5% nationally. I think it was somewhere around there. Why is that? Because we finally starting to do our own research and say, whoa, okay. Let me read this side. Let me read about that side. Maybe I'm in the middle. Well, damn, this side might be a little bit better for me. And I wish all my brothers and sisters actually sat down and did that, because I think more will see different sides of things. A lot of them still like handouts. Again, I always have this argument in the barbershop about how people just want handout. Oh, we should. They want college education to be free. They want obviously healthcare to be free. They want I need free laptops. I need this. I need that. I'm like, whoa. Why don't you get a job and earn that shit? Why don't you get a job and buy that shit? Just like I'm doing. I don't go to Matt and say, hey, I need your laptop because I have work to do at home. You make more money than me. The fuck kind of shit is that? Go get a job, save your money, buy one.
Shit, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. That's just my rant on the bullshit. Stop liking handouts. Get up and work for it. We can all do it. It's a possible way. You know, Philly wasn't great to me. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I didn't have the greatest of family. I loved them. They loved me. We didn't have a lot of money. Work for it. Work for it. Bust your ass. Sometimes you gotta work 2 jobs just to survive. Hey, bust your ass and earn it. It feels so much better to earn it than to just let somebody give it to you. You know, why? Because it's a blood, sweat, and tears. You know, Matt, if you work 3 jobs for the next couple years just to buy that one car you need, man, you're gonna savor that thing. You're gonna take care of it. Like, man, I work my ass off. I don't want nobody messing with this. If I just give you that car, it doesn't have the same value. It doesn't have the same feeling. You know, it's being an athlete, man. Like you gotta, you know, being former athletes, you gotta work your ass off for everything just to get time on the field. That shit is satisfying when you're out there, especially when you're successful when you're out there. It is satisfying. You know, it's satisfying when you buy your own house. It's satisfying when you go and buy whatever. It's fucking satisfying. Giving me something, no thank you. Having me earn it and say, hey, I can show you how to get this. I appreciate that. I'm always going to appreciate that.
So how do we get more people to think that way, buy into that?
I wish I had that answer. It's something I'm trying to teach my kids right now. Work for it. One of the things that a couple years ago, my son was 8, and we have a lot of grass out here. There's a lot of green stuff called grass out here, man. I didn't know that shit when I first bought my house years ago here. I thought you had to cut grass once a month, and that quickly, no, it's like twice a week. So my son got 8 years old. Okay, my wife was like, maybe we should pay him to cut the grass. And I said, why the fuck would I do that? Why would I do that? He lives here. He doesn't pay anything here. I'm not going to pay him for something he's supposed to do. Okay. Now, if he wants to go around the neighborhood and take my lawnmower that I bought and walk around the neighborhood and ask neighbors in the neighborhood, hey, I cut your grass for a certain amount of money, I will help him do that because he's earning something. But we live in this house. I'm going to teach him, hey, I'm going to teach you how to make a living for yourself. You're going to cut the grass. You're going to do a lot of stuff around the house. So when it's now your turn to go earn something, you can turn around and say, hey, I got some tools to go out and earn it. Okay. I can go out and earn it. I can work my ass off so I can earn it. I'm not just going to give that shit to you. No, that's not how it works, player. How do we do it? I don't know how we do it, man. I wish we can get a lot more people with the attitude of pitting in the blood, sweat, and tears to earn this shit. There's not a lot of people that want to do that, though.
Interesting. So right. So libtard of the week. I had this whole thing where I was gonna not go off on some people, but point some things out.
You wouldn't be mad. Go off on them, brother. You're not gonna cry like your boy, are you?
Not yet. Who knows? Who knows? Look, I just want to say this. There is a lot of hate out there, and from what I've seen, it's not over here. And this is the right side, maybe left side for you guys. It's not on the right. Yeah, there are some. In my experience, especially over the last few years, the hate and disdain for the deplorables is solely left here on the left. And you might be a construction worker, you're a carpenter, you're someone who's a housekeeper, you're a landscaper, you own a liquor store, whatever. In my experience, people over here on the left, they don't look at you too kindly because they think you're stupid. And they think that you cannot think for yourself. Therefore, they have to do it for you. And that's the challenge. And what I have to say about this too, you may believe that you're smarter than other people because a perceived notion that you're educated. What are you educated in? That's my question. What is your knowledge base about real world, about life, about people, about common sense? What is your experience there? Because that experience, in my experience, is so much more valuable than something that says, I have a BS on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I have a master's on a piece of paper. So you're smarter, or I have a doctorate. So you studied a subject. Okay. And then you have a piece of paper that says you have a degree. Okay. That's not the case in all instances. Oh, well, college degrees say that you make more money. Okay, that's fine. That's stats. I'm not going to discount that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is every individual, regardless, race, creed, color, education level, is a smart mother effer if they want to be. If they want to be. They just have to believe in themselves and make some things happen. So this divide over here on the left, I'm smarter than you because I'm educated. And you see it all over the place, Chuck, and I'm sure you see it all the time.
All the time. All the time.
I'm educated. Therefore, I'm smarter than you.
Correct.
You think you are, but you're not.
Yeah.
Or you're just naive, or you're brainwashed.
Or all
and
of
we
the
laid
above.
out a lot of reasons why you might be brainwashed.
Yep.
Now, if you don't like this, you don't like what we have to say, start your own fucking podcast. Or come on here. Let's
Come
debate.
on. Let's get it.
At West Coast Sicilian. That means I like to argue.
That is facts right there.
That's what that means. Okay. If you want to come on here, more than happy to have you. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It could be educational, right?
Yeah.
Chuck, what do you think?
I would love that, man. Let's get some folks on here. I think it'll be a good time and very interesting too. So our first guest, maybe we'll get our first sponsors too. So any sponsors out there, holla at us.
People I grew up with, family members, you guys are more than
anybody.
welcome.
Oh yeah, anybody.
You're more than welcome.
We'll
People we don't know. You want to come on and talk some shit, prove us wrong.
Yeah, we'll get some Always Offended merch. Just give us a few weeks.
There we go.
Here we go.
Chuck, any last words?
This is hey, I'll be going to Philadelphia in a few weeks for Thanksgiving. Anything you want me to tell my good folks there? Matthew, you got any choice words for him?
I have to say, figure this shit out, man. Make it fair. Although it's kind of hypocritical of me because nothing in this world is fair.
That's true.
Make it legit.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. Make it legit.
I'll let them know.
Yeah. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, for Philadelphia 19, for West Coast Sicilian, I'm Matt. This is Chuck, and we are out of here.
See you next week, baby. See you next week. Yes, sir.